Oh, hello, welcome to Doc's Talks number 2, episode 2. Man, it has been such a crazy old week. Like, school, don't get me started in school. School's crazy. But anyway, how are you guys? Like, grab yourself a coffee, tea, anything. Sit back, relax. Today, we're going to be talking about good old life and death. Now, life and death is kind of like, I don't know, it's a very, it's a topic people don't really tend to talk about too much anyway. I enjoy talking about like this kind of deep stuff because I find it like important. Okay, it's kind of important to talk about like this kind of stuff really, and it's just a thing that I really enjoy talking about because like I had like a super deep conversation with someone like a while ago just by like the meaning of something and nothing, and I'll get into all of that later on. But like it was so deep and it was so interesting. Honestly, like I never had a conversation like that before. We went on for like an hour, like just us like spitting out like all of our like our hypotheses and ideas and like what's if there's nothing then there has to be something, and in something there's nothing, and then there's nothing there's something. It was a big like gobbledygook of this, kind of we're talking about like the end of everything really. But like I'll probably like ramble a good bit about like the meaning of life and death and stuff. But like really, like, I got like a few talking points. Like there's like these episodes. There's no script. It's just me talking really. It's just me ranting about stuff that I like. I have interest in really. So, and these episodes again, you can just have them on the background really. They're not really meant to be kind of just watched like speed paint in the background. That's always nice to even look at, But like these things, like it's kind of like a podcast, but I don't really want to call it a podcast. I said this in my last episode, but like it's just a talk. It's just me talking to you really, and that is basically it. But okay, my first thing is like, is there really a place after death? I mean, like, I would like to believe that anyway. That like when I die, like there'll be something else. Like I don't want it to be like complete darkness and there's just nothing. Even though there is something, but there's just nothing. And that kind of like leads on to my second point, like kind of like religion. Now I don't mean to like offend anyone, but like, and I'm not saying that religion is like completely wrong and they should like completely abolish it or something. Like I think like religion is just something that kind of just prepares you almost for death, and you have that faith saying like I know like death is a very, very scary thing, and like me personally, I think death is just a very it is a very scary thing really. And it's like I'm at the age where I'm just not really fully like I don't like completely reject death, because I know it will happen to me. I know I will die. There is absolutely no avoiding it. But like religion almost gives people like that bit of closure, that bit of saying that, oh, well, when you die, there is a place. There is a place for like the good and the bad, and then it's kind of in between, like what is it, purgatory? I know what it is. Anyway, I grew up in a Christian family household. Like, we went to mass, a good few like Sundays. We went to Easter Sunday, all that stuff, and Christmas. We went to mass then, and all the important dates. I've done my I've been baptized into the church, Christianity church. I've done my communion. I've done confession. I've done confirmation. Haven't not married yet. I'm not quite there, but yeah, I've grown up in this the whole Christian like kind of like outlook on the whole life thing, and like and my belief system is just like kind of based around that, and that's mostly what it is. But like religion, it's closure to people, saying that like don't worry, just like don't worry about death, because there is there is something else after there. but I'm a little bit on the fence. Like, I would consider myself to be Christian, but like I'm just I'm on the fence of it, really. Like, I believe in it and then I kind of don't. There's some aspects in it where I'm just a little bit hesitant, but I haven't really made my decision. Like, I haven't made like my final decision really yet. Another thing like that religion does for people, it just kind of it gives them that faith, and it gives them that kind of sense of community and like involvement, and kind of just like self health kind of thing. That it can be really beneficial to have faith, really. Like for me, something that I still keep going on, that I still have going on, is I'm a pioneer. Like I meant this. It's like a pledge, really. There, like, I pledged when I was like, I think it was in like sixth class. There's things different here in Ireland, but like I pledged that like I wouldn't smoke, drink, or do drugs until like 20 years old. Everyone else was like, 18, 19. But like I chose 20. I was like, like I don't need this substance in my life, and I don't want to drink or smoke or do drugs because obviously for obvious reasons. Like alcohol, like I just don't really want to do it. To be honest, I don't have a problem. People having alcohol and all that stuff is fine. In some certain circumstances, I would have a problem with it, but I just don't want to do alcohol, and that's something that's given me a little bit of meaning in my life. Like alcohol is, it's a abusive substance and all that stuff. It'll only make me worse in a way, and I don't want to become like addicted to it or see it as like a good thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. Alcohol is not like the worst thing in the world. All right, true, like it does kill people in accidents and things like that. But I'm not saying that alcohol should be like banned everywhere, or like you should never buy alcohol ever, because it's like Satan's fucking orange juice or something. But like, don't like, I'm not saying that. They don't. I should probably put a disclaimer at the start of these saying that I am not a professional. True, I am a doctor. I use quotations there, but that's just the whole. That's like the facade of the whole thing. I am no way an expert. Do not take my sayings completely true. Like, but yeah, it's like alcohol. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do drugs. I don't want to smoke. And that's kind of like the pledge that I've taken. Then like I'm gonna stick with it for as long as possible, really, because it's kind of I'm just kind of looking out for myself in this stage, and like, that gives me a bit of meaning. But like, on the topic of religion and this whole like belief thing, like sometimes I look at animals and thinking, well, like, do they believe in there's like an afterlife, or there's something after death, or are they just like live, eat, like reproduce, die, repeat kind of thing? Is that their whole like mindset? Like, I have my cat Tammy. She's sleeping on the bed just behind me, and like she's got an easy life. She's just sleeping away on my end of the bed where I sleep. But like, I don't know what's going on in her head. I don't know what's going on in Tammy's head. Saying like, oh, like I don't know if she's like afraid of death, or like if she's even like at the stage of like thinking about like, I don't know, the cosmos or something, or is there a god cat or something? Because like, it's hard to tell if like animals, especially if they're thinking of that, because like what makes us so different to animals really is because that us humans can like think more, or like we question things, or we're more creative in this sense. So like, why can animals have like a religion or like an afterlife or God? Well, like, what makes us humans so special that they shouldn't have like? It's kind of like a weird topic. I probably didn't word it correctly, but like, if us humans, us mammals, like, that's what we call it, right? Like, if we say that, oh, there's an afterlife for us, but what about like fish, or like like dogs or cats or any other animal, like, will, like, do they just die and is that's the end? Or like what makes us so special that, oh, we go to a special place because we've learned how to use tools, or we've learned how to like communicate through languages, and we know how to think and like come up with ideas and like question things and discover. Like, does that give us a privilege to have like an afterlife or something else going on? So like, I wasn't quite sure. Like, I kind of thought of it like that way, but like, yeah, like religion. It's a topic. Yes, I could ramble on about another thing, but I'm not saying that religion is false. Religion wasn't made just to like, I don't know, suck money out of people, or like some other like evil thing like that. Like religion, it gives people that faith and that closure and that meaning in their lives, that can strive them to do good and to do better, not just for themselves but for others as well. So I think that's kind of like the basis of religion, that like you have this faith that you solely believe in, and you know it's good and it's morally good, that like it will make an impact on people and yourself, and just for the greater good. Like, that's kind of how I see religion. I mean, like, maybe there is a God, maybe there is. I'm not really sure, but the thing is that I'm not really gonna discuss that too much. But like, religion here is like is to make death not seem bad, or like death shouldn't be feared, like, or it shouldn't be like resisted against or something like that. Like, I'm not saying that you should welcome death in open arms, like just for the hell of it, but like, even just to extend life, that you can slow down death, or like try and get as much life as possible before death. And I'm at the point in my life where death is scary. Okay, I see death as a horrible thing that could happen to someone, and like, if even to someone who I love or like look up to or like I care about, like, if that's the case, then I'm not really sure. Like, death is just, it's something that it shouldn't be feared anyway, but like, then again, not be welcomed. Like, there shouldn't be like a struggle, but like, if like I know in my life I will die, there's 100% chance of me dying, and it's okay to think about. It's perfectly okay. And if there's a chance to extend or like to prevent death in a way, then I would absolutely take it, because like I want to make sure to get the most out of life in this sense. So like, I'm not saying that death is good and things like that, but like, the death shouldn't be feared. Like, we're not really welcomed, and like, death is like the ultimate end of everything. If things just went on forever and ever and like never really changed, life would become meaningless, and we would like be restricted to nothing. Like, death gives us that end. It makes us like, it gives us like a little bit more meaning in our lives. That's what I'm basically saying. That death just makes us think, and makes us like stop and appreciate like our days mostly. But I'm not really sure what to think about death at this stage. Maybe I'll discuss it more like on a later on video. But for now, like, that is the ultimate end of everything. And I know when I die, like I don't know what to expect, because no one's really come back from that. But like, I don't want to fear it. When I'm basically saying that, like, yeah, I don't know. I shouldn't fear it, because like it's a normal thing. And I'm not saying that oh, death is this amazing thing. Why don't I just, do it right away? No, I'm not saying that at all. Death should come naturally. Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be something that you do to yourself, because honestly, it's horrible. It is horrible to kick the bucket underneath yourself, because I can think that's just the scary part of death. That someone can just do it like that. And I don't mean to get off topic and go a little bit morbid, but yeah, I'm not saying that you should do that. But when the time comes and you're old and or it's coming, it shouldn't be a struggle. It should just be natural. Just death is just something that shouldn't be feared. But I also want to talk about life. Life is amazing. Life is a journey, and but what makes life great and meaningful? But I think I said before, to a bunch of people, it's what gives life meaning to you is how you want to live it, by making memories and friends along the way that'll have an impact on you, and later on in life, and also have an impact on them, that even when you're gone, that you can still affect people in a positive way. To me, that's the meaning of life, and death gives us that bit of meaning as well. That just how you want to spend your life, and what makes it meaningful to you. That gives you meaning, and that strives you to do better, not just for yourself but for others as well. I know that there will be time where I have to make impossible decisions that will affect me and others. I don't know when, but surely they will come around. But it's just how I handle that and how I think about it that will affect people and myself, and even the environment around me, possibly the world, in a sense. But I'm not sure if I'll ever get there. But how you see life, that's what will give you meaning. It's just a very complicated subject to talk about, and a topic. But life is just it is a journey. Yes, I know I'm going over my same points here again, but life is a journey, and you can take it as slow or as fast as you want, and there will be bad days and horrible days, but don't let the bad ones blur the good ones, because no matter how bad the world or your day has been, just be kind to yourself and others, and don't go hard on yourself as well. It's also another good important thing to think about. But also, just how you want to live it is kind of the big ultimate question, the answer I can possibly give you is just how you want to live it, and that gives you meaning. There's no set rule saying, oh, you should this should give you meaning in your life, or you should live life like this, and then that'll give you meaning. Because every life is meaningful, while the same meaningless. We think about the big picture. We are a speck, tiny speck in the universe. We have very, 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 very little impact on our universe, and our lives are so small in this vastness that it's impossible to even comprehend and think about. It's me myself, we are just so small, and yet we have so much meaning in this very, very small space that we call our home. And that is just it's amazing to think about. But meaning is just how you want to live your life, how you want to affect others, and the things you do even after you're dead, how things will go on basically. And like, I look around me and I look at all my possessions. Like, I care a lot for my possessions because like each of them has a bit of meaning, a bit of memories in them, and even like my family, my friends, and like Tammy over there as well. Like, they give me meaning in my life. They like make that makes me get up in the morning every day. Like, just in the people I interact with and making their day just a little less like painful, because like, I'll go on record now saying that I'm a very, very caring person, and I put others like other people's lives above my own, which I probably shouldn't, but that's just how I am. Like, I could not like comprehend how someone is thinking about, or how someone is feeling when I meet them. Like, true, they could be having like a really bad day or a really good day, and like me subconsciously, like I want to make them like feel good, like even to complete strangers who I've never talked to or never even met, like that gives me that gives me a bit of meaning. Saying like like even a complete stranger on the street, or like I'll like say like good morning, or like how are you doing, or even open doors for people, like just for them. Like, that small little interaction, that small bit of kindness can go such a long way for someone. And that gives me meaning. Just being nice and just being there for people is just so important to me, and I want to hold on to that like as much as possible. And like I don't want there to be sadness, pain, suffering in the world. And I am nowhere near that kind of power to take away someone's pain and their suffering, because it's an impossible feat. But even just to make their day just a small bit better, like that's my job done. That's my job done. But anyway, that's what gives me meaning in my life, really. Oh, I should probably talk about what's going on in the background, just to really change subject here. But who I'm drawing is Ellie, Allie. That's how I spell it. Anyway, I bought this character from the Attack. It was on like her Mino course art Mino. Very nice character, actually. And she is head of simulations and environment at the whole my little OC world, Like, and she's a bit of like a cocky, like stubborn character who doesn't really show emotions that much. So that's why I really love this character. I bought her, but like, yeah, I think she really fits into this my little world. Anyway, not to hold you like too long, but like thank you so much for tuning in. Next episode, I'm not really sure what I'm going to talk about. I could talk about like plants or something, or I could just talk about, I don't know, Trump. Who knows? Anyway, by actually the time of recording this, Biden has been elected as president, so woohoo! 2020 is all right. It's going all right. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me on Docs Talks. I hope you have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time it is. Just be kind to yourself. Like, don't think about the bad, even though it might be hard. But just don't think about the bad. Focus on the good and the now. And also, a small drop of like wisdom from me. Like, when you're going to bed or something, like think of like when you wake up, you're a new person, and the time before you're like someone else. So do something nice for the person who wakes up, like leaving the keys out on like the right spot, because I know that the person who wakes up is going to forget them. It's just things like that, like thinking that you're thinking that you are a different person every day, and the person you are now, do something nice for the person in the tomorrow, basically. Like, oh, I'm gonna leave out like a nice breakfast, or I'm gonna like have breakfast like somewhat prepared for the person in the morning. They're like that. And it's small things like that that can just really boost your emotions and things like that. But anyway, I'm rambling. This has already been gone on for too long anyway. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Adios, goodbye, slán bhaile, all that stuff. See ya.